You're welcome back to Naija Filmmaker, a podcast for us to talk about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guest is Uyoyou Adia. She's a director, writer, and assistant director. She has worked on several award-winning projects and is a screenwriter for the remake of Nneka The Pretty Serpent. We talk about mentorship, what makes a good AD, and her growth in the industry. If you're a new listener, you're welcome and I hope you enjoy. Hi, Uyoyou. You're welcome to the Naija Filmmaker.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself?
Okay. So my name is Uyoyou Adia, and I am a filmmaker, a director, and a writer. Sometimes I second AD for some projects.
Okay. That's great. So can you tell us how your filmmaking journey started?
Well, it started in, I think, 2013, thereabout.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called me. I was in school at the time, and I think we were on strike or something of the sort.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine called me and said he wanted to shoot and was asking if I was interested in being, part of it as an actor. And I'm like, of course, sure, why not? So I jumped on it. We did a short film. And since then, I was just like, man, I have to be in this industry. I have to, keep doing this. And, I went as an actor, did different auditions, but nothing was really coming forth. In 2017, I had a group of friends and we shot a short film with a phone at the time, with an iPhone. And just at that point, I saw a home video call for script writing workshop, and I decided to apply. And that same year, I attended the Real Time Film Festival, and I met with Tokpa, a known and well-recognized filmmaker in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I asked to intern and she invited me to intern on one of her sets that year. So I shot the short film with my friends. I went for the internship with Tokpa, into the home video screenwriting workshop. And that was how I fully.
So, your early days, you acted in Child Not Bride, Ghana Street League. How were those experiences as an actor?
Oh, you went far. So as an actor, it was quite exciting actually. So like I said, Child Not Bride is actually the film I did first when school was on strike.
Yeah.
From that point, I really wanted to be an actor. That was from that point going forward. I just knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry as an actor, and I kept pursuing it. And then when I did home vida, so Ghana Street League was born out of home vida because we had the idea when we were at the home vida workshop. My mentor now, which was one of the teachers at the time, Mr. Chris Ode, supported myself and Amasamis to do the film.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience for me because I used to play football. I love football. I love the sport.
Yeah.
So to combine acting and a sport that I love, it was amazing for me. I really, really, really enjoyed the experience. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this acting thing. This is my thing. So the experience was I think the experience sealed everything that I wasn't sure of.
And how was it like filming a sport film, like a football film? How were you guys, did you guys need to do more takes than usual? How was that?
Okay, so that was very exciting for me because those were two teams that I love, and bringing it together as one. I didn't feel like I was filming when I was actually playing the game. The only thing was the director will say cut, and then I'll have to stop because they want to get a particular shot of when my leg moved and and all. You know, but yes, they had to take multiple takes, a lot of takes, especially when we were filming the match scene.
Yeah.
Because they had to get every shot right. It was tiring but exciting. Right. So it's when you get back home in the night and you want to sleep, that's when you realize that you are tired.
Yeah.
So as I said, I enjoyed it. It still remains one of my best moments in the industry because, like I said, I love the sport.
When did you write your first script? What year was that?
That would be 2015, I think, Unbroken.
Yeah. And what got you into script writing? Like, what drew you to that part of filmmaking?
So, a friend of mine I just met at the time. Damn, I can't believe I have forgotten his name. I need to remember his name. I told him I had some stories I wanted to tell. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool and everything. But have you ever thought about writing these stories yourself? No, I'm not a writer. I mean, he was like, yeah, you're not a writer, but with the way you narrate whatever it is you want to tell, you already have your story. You know what it is. You even know what your characters should say, or you know what you want your characters to say. So why don't you try it? I mean, if you try it and it doesn't work out, then fine. I'm like, okay. So I went online. I Googled how to write a script, the format, how it's supposed to look and everything. And I decided to give it a go. So as it was coming to me, I was writing. At the time, I used Microsoft Word to write.
Yeah.
At the time, I was just writing as it came to me. And when I was done, I sent him the script. And he was like, not bad, not bad for a first script, but this is what you can do. So he was the first person that actually made me realize that writing a story or a script is not basically writing it as you think in your head. You know? So yeah, that was how I got into the writing gig. And then when I saw the call for the home video script writing workshop, I applied for it. So that was my application for the workshop was my second script. Yeah.
Okay. Apart from the networking opportunities, what do you feel you gained from the home video entry?
First, a bit of exposure. I also learned how to be confident in myself, but to also say or to speak when I don't know something. Like, do not be ashamed to ask questions. I also learned the importance of pitching an idea you strongly believe in. We did some practicals, some writing practicals, some filming practicals. I actually put myself to Mr. Chris because the first thing he did when he entered the class was, you know what, I'm an investor. I have 10,000 naira to invest in your film. Pitch yourself to me, and whoever can interest me or whoever gets my interest, I will invest my 10,000 naira in you. So we were all pitching ourselves to him like we were pitching a script, and he had 10,000 naira to give us as his investment in it. That pitching session went on the class. Everybody actually pitched themselves, and I did too, and actually won the money, you know. So I learned, somebody can go through 1,001 pitch, but something has to make you stand out for that person to be interested in you or in your story. It was an eye-opening experience for me because that was the point I told myself, this is where I want to be, the film industry.
Yeah. And you went on to make several films. There was even a short film that you, your brother, and your mother acted in. How was it working with your family, directing them?
It was not easy, but again, it was exciting. So I have this Since 2017, I've had this thing in me to always shoot a film with my phone every year, and Lost for me was that film for that year. And working with my brother at the time, he also wanted to be an actor, so I had to sit down and figure out, okay, if you call yourself a writer, if you're a script writer, you need to write a one-man story. Because I had just my brother and I had my phone. I didn't have any other things. And I figured, okay, why not do this kind of story? And I had my mom. My mom is a dramatic person on a normal day, so she was excited to be in front of the camera. But it was a collaborative effort between me and my brother. My brother was the one that edited the film. That was his first time editing in his life. So he was learning how to edit on Google, on YouTube, while I was learning how to shoot with a phone and shoot and direct and write myself. So it was an exciting time or moment for both of us because we were both discovering things that we didn't know we could do at the time. I'm still proud of that film till today.
Something I noticed with like you and how you approach your filmmaking is you pretty much do stuff where you are. So you shot it with a phone. I mean, some people think they need to like get a red or a bigger camera before they can shoot their first film. But you pretty much just took your phone and did this. Like, how important is it to work with what you have and grow from there?
So, first of all, what I will always say is the best way to be a filmmaker is to start with whatever it is that you have. And the good thing about this generation is that phone in your hand can literally take you places. The way people sit down and just post pictures with their phone on social media is the way you can film. But then I've always heard people shooting with their phones and all that. I had done a short film before that where I was an actor. And we shot with a phone and it came out pretty good because again, all we had was the phone. There was no extra light. We literally shot with daylight, actors, then edit your film, you know. So that was a challenge to me because in my mind, I'm like, I know it will probably not be perfect, but start from here. Sometimes what the industry wants to see, that first step that you take. That what can you do with so little? So if I can trust you with so little, I can trust you with something big. That kind of mindset. And in this industry, it wasn't long before I found out that nobody was going to feed you. So you have to do something to challenge yourself, to shake yourself. And that's what I did with shooting the phone. And again, it was an exciting process for me because I figured out that means if I can shoot this with this little, when I'm trying to shoot my own film, a short film or a feature film, and I'm trying to be more experimental, or I'm trying to cut down costs, I know that that device in my pocket can work for me. I will not be the first to use the phone to shoot, and I will not be the last to use the phone to shoot. But knowing that you can use something too small to bring something too big to life, that's exciting for me.
So, looking at your credit, a good number of the films you've written or directed were produced by Judith Aldu. Some articles go ahead to describe you as a protege. What would you say is the relationship?
Well, it started off as a mentor-mentee relationship. But now it's more than that. It's a friendship relationship, but it's a friendship. It's a collaboration. It is, that's what it is right now. It's going beyond the mentor-mentee level. We are now a family. That's what it is right now. So I call her my mommy in the industry. She's my mommy. Aside my mom, she's my mommy in this world that I am trying to build for myself. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. And how important is it to have like mommies or daddies or mentors in this industry? How important do you think the role they play is?
I think it's very important too. So somehow, because you are born with a silver spoon, life tends to go in a particular direction for you. You may work for it. You may work for a lot of things that you have.
Yeah.
But because there was a silver spoon in your mouth when you were born, that work was easier, kind of. Compared to someone that was not born with a silver spoon. That person probably has to work. If you're working 5 times as hard, that person probably has to work 10 times as hard.
Yeah.
So that is what I think the importance of having a mentor in the industry is. Now, let me state this for a fact. Where I am today is by the grace of God. But if God did not produce it in my life, I would have still probably been pushing to go to break through into the industry. And maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, I would have broken into the industry. But because I had this person in my life, fast-tracked for me, because I had someone to guide me through and through it all. So if you don't have a mentor, it's not bad, it's not a crime, but there is an extra advantage having a mentor gives to you. The people you meet, the kind of stories you tell, your mentality changes eventually. So yeah, I'll say it's important.
Okay. So how did you get into assistant directing?
That's a very weird story because they first became an assistant director. I never wanted to be an actor again.
Yeah.
So after Home Vida, I kept in touch with Mr. Chris, and after the short Ghana Street League, I went to Abuja.
Yeah.
I stayed in Abuja for a while, and throughout the time I stayed in Abuja, I was always calling him and all that. So at the time, he had a series. He had one Hausa series to produce, and then he called me and was like, "Okay, that can do a series that, but he would like me to come in as an assistant director for him." You know, I'm like, I mean, when I was pitching myself to him, when I was talking to him, what I wanted was to be a writer and then an actor. But he was like, I know that you want to act and all that, but I want you to be my AD. I'm like, okay, fine. Anything to be on set, I will be on set.
Yeah.
And that's how my AD journey started. So I was the AD for him on that set, which was not easy, by the way. It was my first time. It was a series. It was a lot. And I was a newbie. So it's not like I was the second AD to an AD. I was the AD.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a lot on my feet. I had to learn a lot of things on that set. I had to learn a lot of things on the journey. Yeah, so that was my first encounter behind the scenes as an AD. And from that moment, I being an actor ran out of my head.
Yeah. And what are some of the lessons you have learned in your days of being an assistant director?
So first things first, I would say is you have to be a very calm person. You have to be calm and you have to be relatable because a lot lies on the shoulder of an assistant director. Now, the director is the head of everything, right? But to push that project forward, to make sure that according to schedule, to make sure that you finish shoot according to the days you have scheduled to finish it, to make sure that your actors are on set, to make sure that your actors are in costume and in makeup, to make sure that every department is on the toes. That lies with the assistant director. And if you are not a patient, calm person, in my opinion, I don't think you should be an AD because that's a lot of responsibility for one person. Okay. So you can be on set and 5 departments or 4 departments have issues at the same time. You have to know how to solve them.
Yeah.
And you cannot solve issues on your feet if you are not a calm person. if you don't think on your feet, but if you're not patient and calm, you cannot solve issues on your feet. You cannot be the AD that is always shouting at different departments. When they have issues, they're probably be scared to come talk to you. So you need to be calm enough and patient enough with them. So when there is a problem, there is trust between you and other departments. So you can come and say, AD, I think I need 5 minutes for this thing. Reason with them, understand with them, and it's your choice it's your call to say, okay, and you can have the 5 minutes or 1 minute, but you make it 3 minutes. You cannot be a hot-tempered person. It works for some people, I think, but in my opinion, you can't be a hot-tempered person and be an AD. So an AD is supposed to be like a soldier on set without the gun, but knows how to diffuse, situations on the go.
Yeah. Okay. So as a writer and director, what stories get you excited?
I think I can say the stories that don't get me excited. Horror and drama, and comedy.
Yeah.
Don't really get me excited.
Okay.
I actually just directed a comedy film, and I never thought I would direct a comedy film in my life, but I actually just did.
Yeah.
But romance gets me excited. Drama gets me excited. Action gets me excited. A bit of thriller gets me excited. Musical, so that's musicals and drama. Rom-coms, some rom-coms get me excited. Yeah.
Okay. Like a lot of the films you've been involved in, for example, like The Session, it has like 11 Best of Nollywood nominations. It also got like a nomination at the Abuja International Film Festival, and also like your short film projects that have gone on to win awards at film festivals. What would you say is your kind of full circle moment? When do you feel like you've arrived the most? Is it when awards keep kind of pouring in, or is it kind of the impact the movie has on the audience?
So I don't necessarily have that feeling of I've arrived, but I feel thankful that when people watch the film, they can get the message that I was trying to pass across.
Yeah.
For me, the awards and the nominations for me are acknowledgement and validation, and a bit of validation, But when you sit down in a hall and an audience is watching your film, and then they understand exactly what you are trying to do, that is when, for me, at that point, I am grateful I did what I did. Or I'm grateful I ran with the story and made that film.
Yeah.
But the minute that moment is over, I'm thinking of, okay, what is the next thing to do? Because this thing I just did, I need to step up from this.
Yeah.
So what is the next thing to do? Yeah, that's always my mindset.
So, since I'm joining the industry fully in 2017, your career has grown in leaps and bounds. And this is all kind of culminating in your latest credit as the writer of the remake for Nneka The Pretty Serpent, The Becoming. Congrats on that.
Thank you
project.
so much.
Yeah. How did you feel when you got the gig to write this film?
I was scared. So I have been writing for a while, and I won't say my script has been the best script out there, but I on the average, I know I write well on the average. So having this being brought to me and like, okay, you know what, you are going to write in the kind of picture happened. I'm like, okay, get out of here. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I was so scared, but I had this belief that if I put my mind to it, I could do it.
Yeah.
And I try not to run away from challenges, especially challenges that I know will take me to the next level.
Yeah.
So I embraced it. As scared as I was, I embraced it and I ran with it. And at a point, I think I called the producer, my mentor, Mr. Chris. I'm like, Mr. Chris, I think I don't want to write it. And he was like, oh, I believe in you. I know you can do this.
Yeah.
I told you this, and he was like, oh, you can do this. I know you can do this. And Mr. Chris is like, I wouldn't give you something of this caliber if I think you could not do it. You know, and that was a bit reassuring for me as a writer.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Whatever good thing you want to get is not going to come easy. So you just have to follow this head on and do what you have to do, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I took the bull by the horn. I'm like, whatever is going to happen will happen. But this one, I die here. Here we are today.
So this is the remake for the last film, yeah?
Yeah, this is the remake for Nneka The Pretty Serpent. Yes.
Okay. So like, what material did you have to work with? Was it just the story from the last film, or you got some extra things to work with?
We got some extra things to work with. We took elements from the old film. I had to watch the old film when we were creating the story, and we took elements from the old film to add to what we were going to do.
Yeah.
So you definitely be seeing elements from the old film.
Okay. Yeah, can't wait to watch it.
I can't wait to. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. And let me guess, Mr. Chris is your daddy in the industry?
Yes, and yes, he's my dad.
Yeah, if you calculate from 2017, that's about 3 years. And yeah, you've kind of done a lot in these 3 years. So whatever you're doing, I guess it must be working. So how do you make sure you improve your craft? Like, how do you kind of always improve as a person, as a filmmaker? What do you do?
So this is where I say having mentors are good, you know, because you get to be in rooms that you can see the people that have been before you. You get to be in rooms with them, and you get to see how they are doing stuff, and watch them and learn from them.
Yeah.
And also, I get to watch a lot of film. I get to read a lot of scripts, and it's just like how a baby grows. Yeah, they start from crawling, and then they start to walking, and then they go to running. At every stage in my career,
yeah,
it has been one project that takes me to the next level.
Yeah.
And I've always had the best people by my side, always. So I'm always open to learn. I'm always open to learning new stuff. I understand that my career has grown a lot, but I'm not there yet. So I'm still going to keep learning. And when I watch movies this year, it's not the same way I make movies, or I see the films this year short that I want to shoot movies next year. You have to take it up a notch. And for you to pick it up a notch, you need to expose yourself to different materials, different master classes, different sets, work with different directors to know how they think. And I mean, you just see that the way you do stuff, you surprise your own self.
Yeah.
You will surprise your own self. I always say you are good, or you are great at what you do, sometimes based on the people that surround you. So if the people that surround you don't challenge you to be better, you'll probably be on the same level for a very long time. All day, I am writing short films, directing short films. The people around me are telling me, try doing a feature film. It might not be as perfect as you want it or anything, but you just want to give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be there to support you. We'll be there to help. You find out that even if you fail doing your first feature film, when you do a second one, you won't feel like the way you failed the first time. You actually it won't be the same, because you would have gained some level of experience. You were open to learning. You were open to challenging yourself to take it one step higher. So that's what I've always done, to make sure that the people ahead of me, and not just ahead of me in the industry, but know the craft more than I do, so that they challenge me more to do more and exceed my limits. So yeah.
So yeah, what are some of the genres of films like you like to make in the future that you haven't tried yet?
I want to. They are probably all under drama, but I would really love to do a musical.
Yeah.
I really want to do a musical film. I want to do a musical film. I don't want to do a horror film. I probably want to do action because that has my curiosity up.
So what is it about
And
horror that you don't like?
A rom-com. Oh, first of all, I don't like watching horror. So when I was writing Nneka The Pretty Serpent, it was scary. I found out that I couldn't sleep very well at night.
Yeah.
Because of the script, because of the story. So it was quite scary for me.
Yeah.
It was exciting, but it was scary. And I totally hate snakes. I hate snakes on a normal day. So normally I do not like watching horror on a normal day. So if I don't like watching it, I don't think I will be able to make it.
Okay. The Nigerian film industry is growing, and there are a lot of things we can improve on. So what's that one thing for you that you think or you would love to improve for us to kind of get better as an industry?
So for me, number one on that list would be story. Not just the kind of story we tell, but the way we tell the story. That's number one for me. Number two for me is action. I think to a very large extent, we're getting the technical part of filmmaking right.
Yeah.
But there is a lacking in the way we tell stories with the camera and the performance of some of the characters. Another thing that I would really like to see improve is the production design, the art direction of our film.
Yeah. So with the acting, do you think maybe it's because a lot of films are happening and actors have to jump from set to set, so they don't have enough time to prepare for a role? Do you think that's maybe one of the reasons why the acting isn't so great at the moment?
Well, I can't really say for sure, but I think that's part of the reasons. Another reason I see recently that it's part of the reason is passion. So they say this person be like, oh, I could also be a star. But they don't know that it entails a lot to be a star. It's a lot of actors are people that in a year they can live the life of 10 different characters. And that's a lot to put on one person. Because your personality is at stake. You might do a film today and you find out that, oh, that character you played, you loved it so much, so you want to remain like that in real life.
Yeah.
That's going to affect how you see yourself. That's going to affect how your family probably sees you. That is when an actor has done his or her job. If I see that role that you played in that film, I believe it so much that you were that character. So when I see you now, that is that character that I see that just gets me angry. That's when an actor has done his or her job. When the character is so believable. I mean, that's how we get fans. That's how people have fans. Because, oh my God, I love her character so much in that film. Oh my God, I love his character so much in that film.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I felt so much for his character. It's a combination of things that make you have that film, but it is also the act of bringing that character to life. So I really think that when you have too many projects at the same time, I don't know who is who, because if I'm shooting right now, you might bring your character from the film you were shooting before. I can't have my own character in you because you're already immersed in another character. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. But I also again think that it has to do with passion. You have to do what you do. It's not about the money or about the fame.
Yeah.
If you love what you do and you do it well, the money and the fame will come.
And what is it about the stories that we're not getting quite right at the moment?
So I find that our stories are one-dimensional. They go one way. And the fact that they go one way, like I said, it's not so much about the story, but the way the story is told. I can watch a very simple story: boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they fall in love, they break up, and they marry different people.
Yeah.
There is a particular way a director will shoot that film that you will ask yourself, oh boy, is this the same story? Like, is this a boy meet girl, girl meet boy, they fall in love, but they break up later kind of story? But there's another way a director will shoot it, and then all you will just see is, oh, boy meet girl, girl meet boy. I feel like as much as the actors are in their character, as much as you are trying to tell a story with the actors, I feel like your camera and your actors they have to be in love with each other. They have to be in a dance. They have to dance together, to tell a beautiful story. And then to add the icing on top of the cake, the editor is the final storyteller. So your editor also has to understand where you are coming from as a director. Your editor has to understand why you took this shot. What story is this shot telling? It's not just taking shots for taking sake. It's not just taking a wide shot. You need to tell a story with every scene, every shot, every movement. There is a reason why you are cutting away to show me just the fingers of a lady. There should be a reason why you are showing me just the smoke puff of a cigarette somebody is smoking, So I feel like we haven't really gotten to the why we do some things. We haven't learned how to make the camera and the actor be in love with each other. And that's something I think is lacking. And I mean, it's beginning to, people are beginning to work on it, but we have a whole lot of work to do.
Yeah. So, Uyoyou, how can people keep up with your work?
Oh, yeah. So I'm more on Instagram and Twitter. So on Instagram, at Missy_E, and on Twitter, I am Missy_E.
Okay. Thanks, Uyoyou, for coming on the Naija Filmmaker.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Congrats on Nneka The Pretty Serpent.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
We have come to the end of this episode. Please remember to leave a rating and a review. You can send your questions and feedback on social media. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SelegorFilm, and the podcast also on Instagram and Twitter at the Naija Film Pod. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.